Hello kids, very good morning to you. I am Monisha from Bharathidhasanar Matriculation School, Arakkonam. Today I am going to take 7th standard social studies. Okay, the topic is rise and spread of Islam. In that we already discussed part 1, right? That is how the Islam religion is arose, who spread the Islam religion, and we saw that 5 main principles of an Islam, right? Today we are going to see remaining portion, that is teachings of Muhammad as well as the spread of Islamic civilization, and the last is art and architecture of the Islam period. Yes, okay, today we are going to see, now the first topic is teachings of Muhammad. Okay, so Muslims worship only one God called Allah. Okay, so Muslims worship only one God called Allah, A-L-L-A-H. Okay, so Allah stands alone and He controls all man's action. Allah stands alone and He controls all man's action. Yes, okay, the holy book of Muslims. Do you know the holy book of Muslim children? Yes, good. The holy book of Muslims is Quran. Okay, so the holy book of Muslims is Quran, Q-U-R-A-N. Yes, okay, so for Christians holy book is Bible, for Hindus holy book is Bhagavad Gita, right? Okay, like this the holy book of Muslims is called as Quran. Okay, and the Muslims believed the words wrote by Muhammad was dictated by Allah through an angel. Okay, so the Muslims believed Muhammad wrote, right? Okay, Muhammad only wrote Quran, right? The words was dictated by Allah through an angel called Angel Gabriel. Okay, through the angel name is Angel Gabriel. G-A-B-R-I-E-L, through the angel Gabriel. Next we are going to see, addition to that 5 main pillars of Islam, the Muslims also need to follow this certain kinds of rules and regulations. In that the first point refers Muslims should not worship an idol. Okay, the first point is Muslims should not worship an idol. So what does the word stands for idol? Idol means சிலை வழிபாடுகள், right? Okay, statue. Okay, எந்த கடவுளையும் என்ன பண்ணக்கூடாது, எந்த statuesையும் அவங்க worship பண்ணக்கூடாது. So Muslims should not, S-H-O-U-L-D, should not worship Muslims should not worship an idol, I-D-O-L. Okay, the word idol stands for சிலை வழிபாடுகள். Then the second one, he must not, M-U-S-T, must not lend, L-E-N-D, lend money on interest. He must not lend money on interest, which means அவங்க யாருக்கும் என்ன பண்ணக்கூடாது, கடன் கொடுக்க கூடாது. Okay, he must not lend money on interest, which means வட்டிக்கு கடன் கொடுக்க கூடாது. Then the third point is he should live a life should be example for others. So he should lead a life with a virtue as well as a benevolence. So virtue means a moral life. Okay, he should live a moral life, should be an example for others. Then the fourth point is they need to treat all are brothers. So the Muslims must record themselves as brothers and all should be treated as a equal. Okay, so in addition to that 5 pillars of Islam, the Muslims need to follow this kinds of rules and regulations also. That is, the first point is the Muslims should not worship an idol. The second point is he must not lend money on interest. Okay, then the third point is he should live a life with the examples, good values. Okay. The fourth point is we Muslims should record themselves as a brothers or equal. The next we are going to see about the spread of Islamic civilization. Spread of Islamic civilization. So, Muhammad's successors were known as the caliphs or caliphs. So, pronounce it children. Muhammad's successors were known as caliphs or caliphs. So, what does the word stands for here? Successor. The successor stands for followers. The successor means here followers. Okay, so Muhammad's successors were known as caliphs or caliphs. Caliphs, C-A-L-I-P-H-S, caliphs or caliphs. Okay, the caliphs who succeeded Muhammad were 4 members. Okay, they are 4 members. That is Abu Bakr. The first person is Abu Bakr, A-B-U-B-A-K-R, Abu Bakr. Usman, U-S-M-A-N, Usman. Umar, O-M-A-R, Umar. And Ali, A-N-D. Okay, so these were the 4 members. That is, Muhammad's successors were known as caliphs or caliphs. Okay, the caliphs who succeeded the Muhammad were 4 members. That is Abu Bakr, Usman, Umar and Ali. Yes, the rule of the first 4 caliphs was ended in the year of CE 600. Okay, so the rule of the first 4 caliphs was ended in the year of CE 600 and the power has been passed over to the Umayyads dynasty. Okay, and the power has been passed over to the Umayyad dynasty and later the power has been overthrown through the Abbasids. Okay, so the Umayyad dynasty kitta irundhu yaar kitta power pass aachu? Later the power has been passed over to the Abbasids dynasty. Later the power has been passed through the Abbasids in the year of CE 750. Okay, later Arabs was dominated by the Turkish people. Okay, later the Arabs was dominated by the Turkish people. Okay, at the last the rule of the Ottoman caliphs was ended in the year of 1918, which means at the end of the World War. Okay, so the rule of the Ottoman caliphs was ended in the year of 1918. Okay, so the rule of the first 4 caliphs was ended, right? The next the power has been passed over through the Umayyad dynasty. Okay, so later Umayyad dynasty the power has been passed over through the Abbasids. Okay, later the Turkish people invaded the Arabs and they dominated the Arabic people. Okay, and at last the Ottoman caliphs was ended in the year of 1918. Yes, first we will see about the Umayyads dynasty. Okay, so the Umayyad dynasty they ruled over from 661 CE to 750 CE. Okay, so they ruled over Umayyad dynasty from 661 CE to 750 CE. Okay, they made their capital as a Damascus. They made their capital as Damascus. They also conquered places like Portugal, Spain, France, etc. Okay, so they captured places like Portugal, Spain, France, etc. Their main capital is Damascus. The capital of Umayyads dynasty is Damascus. The next we are going to see is Abbasids. Okay, so next to the Umayyad dynasty, the power has been passed over through the Abbasids people. Okay, the Abbasids was ruled nearly 750. They ruled from 750 CE onwards. Okay, they started ruled from 750 CE onwards. In this, the most famous Abbasid ruler was, okay, so in this the most famous Abbasid ruler was Harun al-Rashid, Harunalrashid. Okay, in this the most famous Abbasid ruler was a Harun al-Rashid. They made their capital as Baghdad, B-A-G-H-D-A-D. They made their capital as a Baghdad. After the Umayyads dynasty, the power has been passed over through the Abbasids. They started rule from 750 CE onwards. In this, the greatest ruler of the Abbasid was a Harun al-Rashid, and they made their capital as a Baghdad. Is Jitish, who is the famous ruler of the Abbasid dynasty? Is good, Harun al-Rashid, right? Okay, this picture refers the Harun al-Rashid. Okay, so why he became famous means in this period A-L-R-A-S-H-I-D. Why he become famous means in this period the power and prosperity is very high. Okay, in this period the power and prosperity is very high, and he established a very large library also. So he became very famous, and later the Abbasid dynasty came to an end by the arrival of Mongols. Okay, later. So the Abbasid dynasty came to an end by the arrival of Mongols. The next we are going to see here is, that is the last topic in your lesson, rise and spread of Islam, is the achievements of the Arabs. Okay, so the Arabs were known as a good learners. Okay, the Arabs were known as a good learners, and they are assimilated as a best elements of culture. So what does the word stands for assimilated here, which means here regarded as. Regarded as. Okay, so the Arabs were known as a good learners, and they are regarded as a best elements of culture. So they are in come in contact with India, Persian, Greek cultures also. So the culture is will be very different. Yes. So the Arabs made a great progress in the field of geometry and astronomy. Okay, so the Arabs made a great progress in the field of geometry and astronomy. In this, they have listed some of the scholars like Bin Sina, pronounce it Bin Sina, and Muhammad al-Razi and Umar Khayyam. Okay, so the famous poet. Okay, so the famous poet was Umar Khayyam. Okay, he wrote a poem called Rubaiyat. He wrote a poem called Rubaiyat. Okay, so which means who finds comfort by escaping the material pressures, which means நம்ம என்ன அது பொருள் இன்பத்தை விட்டா நம்மளால என்ன பண்ண முடியும், கம்ஃபர்ட், அந்த பொருள் இன்பத்துக்கான ஆசையை தவிர்த்து விட்டால் நம்மளால என்ன பண்ண முடியும், சந்தோஷமா வாழ முடியும் அப்படின்றத எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்றது தான் என்னது இந்த ருபையாத் poem. It was wrote by famous poet named Umar Khayyam. Okay, then they also made a great changes in the architectural field also. So this picture refers to the dome shaped architecture. So this picture refers the dome shaped architecture. This is okay. So this made a great progress in this period. Then this picture refers the minaret. Okay, minaret means nothing but it is a part, typically a part of a mosque. Okay, it is a small part of an Mars cube. Okay, so the Arabs made a great progress in the field of astronomy and geometry, and they also done a progress in the field of architecture field also. Okay, so I hope children you all understood this session, right? Okay, I would like to give a small recap. What are all the topics we have discussed, right? The first we saw about the teachings of Muslims, teachings of Muhammad, right? That is the 4 points we have discussed. In addition to that 5 main principles, pillars of an Islam, we had saw the first point is Muslims should not worship an idol. The second point is he must not lend money on interest. Then third point is Muslims regard themselves as a brother. Okay, then the last point is he should lead a virtue. Okay, he should live a example. He should lead a life should be example for others. Then we saw about the spread of Islamic civilization, right? Okay, the first Muhammad followers were known as a caliphs. Okay, after the rule of an caliphs, it was passed over through the Umayyads. Okay, after the Umayyads, it was power has been passed over through the Abbasid dynasty. Okay, later the Turkish, that means Ottoman caliphs, was put an end to the Abbasid dynasty. Okay, and that last we discuss about the progress in science. Okay, I hope children you all enjoy this session. Okay, for further information we have attached the study material, question bank and self-assessment, and do the self-assessment and check it out how much you have understood the concept. Thank you, ma.